Rogers, he prayed before his shows that the Holy Spirit would be like between the screen and the viewer, which I love.
I love that.
So sweet.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's in the chat yet, but I'm just going to say, please let us know when you can see us, because sometimes there's a bit of a delay. Oh, so 6 people are viewing. Ooh. Hi, Danny. Danny is a lovely person. I know Kate knows Danny.
Yes. Yeah, and she was one of the people who took part in the Fate of Jane Moore event. Hi, Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie's here. Oh, and and Rich. Oh my gosh, Rich is awesome. He's always in the live streams. He was all throughout Stormlong. He's like the quote master. He has his own order of knighthood.
That's so fun.
Angie,
Hi,
Krista.
Krista.
Hey guys, it's wonderful to see you all. I see you a? I don't know, man. You would know.
Isn't that another thing like Avatar? I see you.
Oh, see? Have you read Wheel of Time, Emma?
From Wheel of Time.
Okay.
But you know what? There's so much information in Wheel of Time to keep track of. It's absurd, like just how deeply you can go.
And Rich goes there. He goes that deeply.
And do you know, Rich, how many times have you gone through the series?
That's a good question. Hi, Charmaine. Charmaine is lovely. I've recently started talking to her on Instagram, and she's so cool. We vibe hard. Oh, it's an Avatar thing too. You were right, Emma.
Like, I feel like I've seen that at Avatar Land at Disney World.
That's like your frame of reference for so many things. It's the same with my husband. Like, he knows so much from like watching Batman and watching Disney and sports.
1.5 times total now. He's on book 5 rereading. Yeah, I feel like book 5 is where it really starts to slow down a bit.
Yeah, I've heard that. All right, it looks like everybody can see us. We've got a good crowd here, so let's get started introducing yourselves. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves and your channels? I'm sure everybody already knows, but you know. Go ahead, Kate.
Okay. I am Kate Howe, and I have a channel of the same name. And I can't even remember how I found Emma's channel, but somehow it was serendipitously I found it. And so we've gone to a couple events together, which has been really fun. And hopefully someday, Christy, I'll get to meet in person, but we met through, I think your Victober TBR 2 years ago was how I found you.
Okay. That checks. That's so on brand. And you guys, didn't you do a vlog together of like one of the things you went to? I forget. Was it on Emma's channel or was it on Kate's? I don't remember.
We might have each had one.
Yeah, we each had one for Emma Day. And then we did this wild like mystery scavenger hunt at the Philadelphia Library, and Emma vlogged that on her channel.
That was so much. I would not have heard of that for Kate. And like, it was such a blast because it was like literally all over this beautiful historic library. And there were actors who were like leading you through, and like there was a mystery that you had to solve. It was like an escape room, but all over the library.
It was, yeah, that's totally what it was like.
Like, I don't think escape things were really a thing yet.
No, I don't think so.
I had never experienced anything like that before. That was so, so cool. Yeah. And Emma, it was so much fun too. Yeah. I remember when you first commented on my channel, like I was so excited to see you. I think you just started on BookTube, and it was like, oh my gosh, she reads the same kind of books. I love her recommendations. Yes. Oh, so speaking of Victober, Christy and I were having this chat in my comments, Kate, that we think we should start a Regency month like Regency literature. What, Christy, what was it? It was gonna be
Feb Regent. No. Was it Feb Regency? Yeah. I think that's really cute.
I feel like we need to make that happen next year. Because although Victoria
so down.
is such a perfect name, I just feel like that like rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
This is what it's about. So yeah, Victoria's pretty great.
So would it be specifically literature written in that era or literature written and set?
Oh, that's an idea. I guess I was thinking more written in that era because like Jane Austen obviously is Regency, but she was inspired by so many Regency authors and like so many authors from the early Regency. Like, wouldn't Sam Johnson be oh my gosh, I'm getting my authors mixed up. What is that?
Dr. Samuel Johnson, is that who you're thinking of? But I remember Deborah loved him in Cranford.
Yeah. Well, who wrote his biography though? Oh, I should know this. Anyway, he loved his writings, and she had lots of other contemporaries. Mariah Edgeworth she loved, and like Fanny Burney. So it's always fun to read her Regency contemporaries. We should look into it more, Christy, and decide if we can what we would do for a Feb Regency.
I will.
That would be wonderful. And this is totally up Stephanie's like type of reading too. Stephanie is so cool. She reads classics and like sci-fi and fantasy, just like me. She's really cool. And would you like to introduce your channel, Emma?
Oh yeah. So why hello there, friends. My name's Emma. I'm the Bookish Princess. Bookish Princess is my YouTube channel. And I do books, but I also do Disney World vlogs and style and all sorts of random things.
Kind of BST.
Whatever I feel like. So, and BTS. Yes, that's.
I think BST.
I think they're performing at the Grammys tomorrow night. So I'm for that. I guess also BTS. I'm sure I'll react to that if they do perform, but yeah.
Your reactions are like the most heartwarming thing on BookTube. I love it. On YouTube, not just BookTube, but yeah.
I have a friend who's very like hardcore about BTS, and I sent her a link to I can't remember which specific one it was, Emma, but you were wearing the PJs.
Oh yes, yeah.
And she was like, I wanted those PJs so badly, and maybe they had sold out or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, those are pretty classic. One of the members, like his little character is this little alpaca, and he wears those pajamas himself all the time. So I feel like that's why fans my mom found me those pajamas. Like I was amazed one Christmas. She like found all the BTS stuff, and I hadn't even like sent it to her. So.
That's so fun. She speaks your love language.
She does, definitely.
Oh, yes, Boswell's Johnson.
That's yes. Thank you, Boswell. Yeah, I knew that name was on the
and Rich, now I can't even remember that. Apparently it is in the 5th Wheel of Time book, the ICU. So.
Is this what you're talking about? This one?
Then it was like one
earlier.
2 back from that.
2 back?
Yes, there we go.
This one? Oh, this one?
Okay. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Yes, Rich, the quote master. There he goes. This isn't even Stormlong anymore, and he's still quoting the fantasy here. Okay, lots of love for the Regency idea. I see lots of love for that. Regency.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
That is pretty cute.
Birds of a feather. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, I really love both of your channels. I was so excited to find people who love fun things and classics, and like harder things and funner things. You know, funner. That's a great word. It made me really happy, and yeah. So I'm happy that we're all like friends now. This is amazing.
Thank you. And you all like K-dramas.
Yes. Thanks to Kate, she got me into them.
I did. Listen, I love you both because I am episode 13 of Encounter. It's a forbidden romance where she's like the CEO of a hotel, and she got it as like alimony because her husband had an affair, and she has fallen in love with one of the like way lower down employees, and so many feelings.
right now we have Disney Plus. We try to keep it to one streaming service at a time. So right now we have Disney Plus because Emma's doing like watch-alongs in her Discord. So I'm like, I'm not missing those. But we'll probably get Vicky again after that because I love Vicky. Thanks to you.
Doing? Yes, I love it. What are you doing on Disney Plus?
Well, we did a Moana watch along recently.
Oh,
it's fun, but yeah,
so
a lot of ideas for which movies to watch. But there's so many good ones.
Yes. If we want to do more, I'm ready. Okay.
Oh, Krista, there are some. Netflix even has some original ones. And I always say Romance is a Bonus book is a good one to start with because it's
very bookish.
It's very bookish, and it does have some of the goofy humor, but it's not quite as goofy as some of them are.
My whole family loved Crash Landing on You, and I have 4 brothers, and they all were willing to watch it with me. Like,
wow.
Because usually, like, they see subtitles and they're out of the room, but they Crash Landing on You. So yeah, I thought that I really liked that one.
That's a really good one. That soundtrack was especially good. That's good, like writing or reading music. The like the instrumental parts even.
I think let's try and do a sprint. Let's do like a warm-up 15-minute sprint, and then we'll do some longer ones. We'll start at Krista's speed. Krista always does 15-minute sprints.
That's awesome.
And then she'll like move up to 20 minutes. Yeah, I like the variety. It's good.
Yes.
All right, so we'll start in a few minutes here with that. Okay, do you guys want to tell us what you're doing?
Sure.
Go ahead, Emma.
So I have a couple options. I think I'm probably going to start with this. I started this last month. It's the Biblical World, an illustrated atlas. So it's just really cool. It maps out all the places referenced in the Bible and like tells you about the real cities and like all the excavations and kind of, puts it next to works of art. So I think I'll probably do this, although I also have some knitting. So maybe I'll dip into that later.
And then I think I'm going to do some more of I never thought I would say this, but I'm obsessed with a Christian romance. Like I didn't know there would be one out there that the writing would be up to par for me, but is it going to show up? The Innkeeper of Ivy Hill is the name of it. And it's a Regency setting, and she's a widow and has to decide what to do with this inn. Because they might foreclose on it, so she has to decide if she wants to run it or not. And then I will work on my Stitch and Listen. This is my Stitch and Listen project, which is supposed to be for the King's General. So I'm like dipping in between the 2 audiobooks.
That sounds really good. Yeah. Oh, the DDM one sounded so good.
Yes, the King's General is so good. It's a lesser talked about Daphne du Maurier, but it's set in like the English Civil War. So that setting to me is really fascinating. And my grandmother talked it up, so she made me want to read it.
Your grandmother? That's so cute.
She has good reading. She also told me about Mary Stewart. Angie is reading Miracles on Maple Hill tonight. Yeah. We forgot to plug our read along.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to do that when we come back. It is time to start doing. Please do tell us in the comments though what you all are working on. We'd love to hear about it, and we'll chat more in a bit. I'm gonna turn on my mic. You guys don't have to, as long as it's not too noisy.
Okay.
How did everybody do? What did you work on again, Emma? You're working on your books, or were you knitting?
I was reading. Yeah,
You were reading.
Through Genesis and started on Exodus. So.
Oh, good. That was great. Okay.
The actual text of the Bible, but it follows the text of the Bible. So going over the real life places.
That is so cool. Have you ever been to Israel?
I have not. No, that would be amazing, but yeah.
Is it on your bucket list?
Maybe someday. Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, it really would. Be awesome. I've never been out of the country. I've barely been out of the US country. I've barely even been out of California, but I'd love to travel. How about you, Kate? How did you do?
I did well. I mean, it's pretty easy to listen to an audiobook. So yeah, very, very charming, and the writing is clever and amusing, witty dialogue.
Yeah. And you're knitting as well?
Yes. Yeah. So it's nice because I'm, this far into it. So it's very routine at this point. So I don't like having like a super challenging knitting project.
Oh, do your hands ever get tired? Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Angie, here's the book.
Oh, good.
Straight up.
I'm glad you guys are watching the chat. I'm like super behind.
And also Amanda from the Curly Reader is here.
Hi.
And Allie McGlynn, hello.
Hi,
I'm sure she's working on something super cute with her paper art. Oh, Allie, tell us what Mary Stuart mystery you are contemplating picking up. And Christy, I don't think you said what you were working on, did you?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I can get my concentration in gear, I'd really like to work on the Brothers Karamazov. However, usually during live streams, I like to do something a little, I don't know, different, more, I don't know, interactive, I guess. So I was working on my Russian. So I worked on 3 letters, and my handwriting is terrible, but I'm working on de, which actually looks like a G in lowercase, and yeah, which looks like an E, and yo. Yeah.
And I will say, this is one of the few words I remember, horosho, which means like good. Horosho.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's probably frequently used, huh?
Yes, that's the only reason I knew it.
I was always surprised by how often Spanish speakers will use bueno. Like they use it for a lot of things.
Yes. And in Korean dramas, how much they say day, which can mean yes or okay or like you bet. It's just like
lots of meanings.
Yes. Actually, it was funny. And so one of the summers that I spent in Russia, we were staying in a house and the wife made us the most amazing homemade food. And I noticed every time while she was getting everything set up, she would go, talk, 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 like while she's walking around the kitchen, just saying talk constantly. I asked a translator later, like, what is that? And they're like, it means okay. So she's like walking around being like, okay, like I have this.
That's so cute.
It was really cute.
Ooh, how cool.
That's so cool, Amanda. What a way to celebrate.
Grandma's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just Rich saying that in a lot of Asian languages, yes is mostly a yes. I hear you. Keep going. That's interesting.
Rich has been to Japan. Have you been to you've been to Singapore too, right? Rich? He's been everywhere.
Wow.
I really want to go to South Korea. My was that 2020 I would go to a BTS concert. In 2021 I would go to Korea. Maybe 2022 or something.
There you go. She lived to be 100. What a life.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Anyways, I haven't read that one yet, but that sounds really cool.
It's weird. The Moon Spinners was weird for me because it's a Mary Stuart that Mary Stuart fans love, and it was just kind of middling for me. I'd be curious if I went back and reread it, what I thought of it.
Ooh, Amanda's been to Central Mexico and Germany. Now, is Central Mexico, is that like where Mexico City is, or is that like a different area? I'm just curious because I would love to go to Mexico City. There's ruins, There's food. I mean, what better combination can there be?
Yes.
I don't need the beach, but Kev said he needs the beach, so that's mainly why we haven't gone yet.
I do love the beach. Oh.
Okay, so like way back in the chat, I wanted to catch up with things people were saying.
Oh, Stephanie asked, sorry, just randomly, she asked if Mary Stewart wrote a series about Merlin, and she did. Yes.
Oh, I think I've seen that one. Okay, so I thought this was funny. We were talking about happy, fun books and also classics, and Rich was like, I think Crime and Punishment had a happy ending. That cracked me up. Because that's partly why I liked it. It wasn't as grim as I thought it was going to be, and I was like, "Oh, classics can be fun." That was my I always call it a gateway classic.
Crime and Punishment.
Oh my gosh.
Boating for Beginners. That sounds like a fun title.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't know Pete was here. Hi, Pete. Thanks for coming. And Krista found lots of K-dramas on Netflix.
You're welcome. And sorry, not sorry for all the time you're going to want to spend watching them.
You're going to be addicted. Just wait.
This is not Korean, but it's Chinese. Some Chinese dramas. The Princess Wei Young is really good. And Yangtze Palace is amazing. It's like a Chinese Downton Abbey. Yangtze Palace, I don't know if that's on Netflix. We watched it on Prime. But oh my gosh. And it's there are like 70 episodes and it's so good. It's like you don't have to worry about ending too soon.
That's awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Oh,
yeah, you've put that one in vlogs.
Yeah.
Probably have.
Everyone's talking about Prague. Oh, Prague sounds amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to go to Prague? Sounds amazing. Did that start with Stephanie? Or who started that?
Okay. Yeah, I think it was. I think it started with Stephanie.
Okay. Oh wow. You've been to Prague, Stephanie? What? That's amazing.
No.
Stephanie, where have you been? I didn't realize you've traveled.
I didn't either.
That's amazing. Okay. Okay, so Rich has been to Japan and Singapore, mostly in Asia. I was in Israel. I guess that is also Asia, technically. Okay. I never thought of Israel as Asia, but I guess that's true.
That's funny.
Germany. Oh, I would love to go down the Rhine River. I would love to go to Rothenburg. Rothenburg looks amazing. I mean, there's a medieval torture museum. I mean, I gotta see it. And like the Christmas store and everything.
Oh, you know those before Masterpiece Theater programs, how they have like Viking River cruises commercials?
Yes.
Whenever I saw cruise commercials, I was like, this looks very extroverted. But then the Viking River ones, I'm like, yes, this is my kind of a cruise.
Samantha Brown from the Travel Channel, or actually now I think her show's on PBS. But she, I think, went on a Viking River cruise and did a bunch of episodes in Europe, and it just, it looked so amazing.
That's so cool.
That does sound amazing. My favorite travel vlogger, though, is here with us today. That would be Emma.
That's so sweet.
And Emma, I was looking back at an old video of yours, one of your Germany ones, and I think you talked about how before you went, you read Betsy and the Great World, which was so fun.
I adore Betsy Tacy is so amazing.
Really
I haven't read the like younger books in such a long time, but like I reread the older ones, like Emily of Deep Valley, I love, and Betsy and the Great World. I think I've reread the most just because it's got travel and Betsy and London and Munich, and it's so good.
It's very, very cool.
Krista has apparently been everywhere.
Yes.
That is awesome.
I think we're all jelly.
Yes. Oh, I think Belgium would be really cool.
Yes.
Get some waffles and chocolate.
I was in Brussels. I think it was like only for a day because when I studied abroad, like I tried to go lots of places, but like, you're on a shoestring budget, so you're there like nice cram stuff in. But in Brussels, we went to this place where they served like hot French fries, and they like wrapped it up in a paper cone, and it just was it was so good.
That sounds amazing. I remember this interesting fact I heard about Belgium is that they are like very polarized politically. And there was one time they went over a year without electing a president because like the people could not come to a consensus over who should be elected.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that's so crazy. I can't imagine. Well, I guess we spent like 2 years on our elections here, so I guess I can't understand that.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, that's really cool. In high school, wow, that's incredible. As a high schooler to do that much traveling. Neuschwanstein.
Yeah.
Stein.
That's so cool. That's the inspiration or one of them for Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom.
Oh.
But built by the Mad King.
Mad King George?
No, it's a German Mad
King. A German King. Okay.
Oh, it's in there somewhere. Just I can't remember. It's interesting because like he was obsessed with older styles, but like he built it in I think the 1800s, but like he built it to look like it was older. So
oh, there was another. It's in Northanger Abbey. There's one of the places that she wants to visit. I just heard this in a Bonnets at Dawn podcast. And it's like a farce. The place she wants to visit was built to look like it was really old, but it was a contemporary castle. I'll have to look up like which castle it was.
Sorry if I can.
Monarch Glen. So that's making me want to go to Scotland.
Oh, yes.
I apologize if I confused anyone with my banner earlier. I was like 15 minutes off of everything.
Oh, you're fine.
So the next one we'll do 20 minutes. That'll start on the hour and it will go until 20.
I think I'm going to pick up another middle grade. I forget which direction I'm supposed to hold it. Middle grade March read. This is Understood Betsy by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. It's recommended for Betsy Tacy fans. I have unfortunately had so many DNFs during middle grade March, so I need to build up my momentum again. I was really enjoying The War I Finally Won, which is the sequel to The War That Saved My Life, the audiobook. Then there's a German character, and the voice that she does makes her sound like a 80-year-old woman, and she's like 12. So I picked up the physical book of that today at the library, and I'll finish that up as a physical.
I actually brought my paints out too because I wasn't sure what I'm going to do from our Switzerland trip. I'm like halfway through, so maybe I'll
so
work.
Fun.
I haven't.
That sounds fun.
It's like I've got the big stuff in, but like it's all the small stuff now. So.
Emma, you do all the things.
Yeah. And when it's done, you can put it up in your new place.
I haven't done this in a couple months. What did you say, Kate?
Oh, you can just put it up in your new place. That'll be a really
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Krista. Yes, I'm jealous. I love Katie's reading. It's really delightful. She's reading Anne of Green Gables, and she is Anne when she's reading it, and every other character. She just does it so well. Angela, hi!
Aww,
thanks for coming.
Hello.
Angela was at my birthday stream last night too.
That's so fun.
She's such a gamer. She's awesome.
That's great.
Also has a wonderful channel combining literature with science. That's her channel, Lit Science Alliance.
That's really cool and a very unique thing to offer on BookTube.
Yeah, and she knows her stuff. It's incredible.
So cool.
And also, before we go, there's Charmaine. She said she also loves K-dramas. So I'm so excited about the K-drama love. Alrighty, guys, let's get to work. Oops, okay. There we go. Hey guys, how'd you do? I saw Emma was painting.
Yes.
Sorry, there we go. I'm on mute. Yes. I was working on my flower boxes and the flower lamp.
So
That is
pretty.
so lovely. How did everybody do in the chat? Oh my goodness, somebody's drafting a book or was for our last sprint.
Just a normal Saturday night.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I really liked the first chapter of Understood Betsy.
I've
Oh,
read
good.
And like Anne of Green Gables-ish.
That's good. So maybe this won't be a DNF.
Fingers crossed. I think I needed to read like a classic. I think that's what it was.
So have any of you guys heard of this? The Revenge of the Rose, an Elric story by Michael Moorcock and George. That sounds intense.
I was wanting to Google it. I forgot.
Okay, I think I caught up with the chat. Aw, such a pretty painting, Emma. Somebody says. Allie says. Is Allie a mutual friend of your guys?
On Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny, like people that it's like I've never met Allie in real life, but I followed her for a while, and her paper art is beautiful, and she's in the Discord, so like I feel like I know Allie. But
yeah, actually, I'll show real quick.
Ryan's here! Hi, Ryan! Thanks for coming. You've been on like all the live streams in the last 24 hours.
He's a social butterfly like you.
Yeah.
This is Allie's. Ooh, is it going to show it? Let's just go away from the. Yeah, there it is. That's her Cinderella. Isn't that adorable?
So cute. Wow.
Yes.
Well done, Ellie.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
ooh, Angela's almost done.
Yes. And Amanda said she got sent a book by an author for middle grade March, which is really cool.
Ooh, cool. Is it self-published or is it like from a publisher, or how'd that work? Nice. The noveler is close to hitting his target word count. What's your target word count? I'm always so curious about that. Mm-hmm. Is it like daily or weekly, or how does that work?
For a minute, I read that as Anderberg. I was like, Anderberg wrote a novel. Unbound. That sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
Jamilia. I've never heard of that one. Before starting, are you talking about Daniel Green? Are you talking about Daniel Green's book, Stephanie? Okay. Cool. I think I caught up. Cool. Woo. Brandy Lane Publishers. That is so cool. 2,000 a day? Whoa.
Wow.
That's like more than a nano novel, but like every day. Do you count like brainstorming words or just specifically story words? Emma, you like to write, don't you? Or is that like a side thing?
I do. Yeah, I like to write. I don't know. It's like I always have all these ideas, and then I end up like only writing like a segment of something for like idea for a novel. And yeah, I think real writers like just have, so much, like you just sit down and do it. Like PG Woodhouse, who I love, like every morning, I think he'd start at like 6, like super early. He would just like religiously, like, yeah. So I just need to collect my ideas and sit down and do it at some point. But
yeah. I was in a writing group with some of those kind of writers. They wrote like 10,000 words a week and like would submit them for the rest of us to like review every week. It was like so overwhelming. It's like, you guys are incredible. I can't compete with that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you like think, oh, I'll have an inspiration or, but it's like, no, you'll have the inspiration as you're sitting down, forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah.
That's like from Books and Things. Every morning she does. She gets up an hour early and she writes.
Whoa, she writes too? Oh my gosh.
She does. Yeah. I think she published a couple short stories in short story collections. So I think
I forgot. I haven't really announced this anywhere because I've been just talking about the live streams, but I got my first short story published yesterday.
Woo! Yay!
Amazing.
It's in an unexpected journal, and I don't get paid, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. What's the title of the story?
It's called My Favorite Things because there's a lot of Sound of Music references in there, but it's not happy. It's like I was going for a Flannery O'Connor vibes.
Flannery O'Connor meets The Sound of Music.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's my vibe all the time. Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you, guys. Yay.
We're all happy for Christy.
Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Okay. What did I miss here? Yeah, I kind of feel like that too, though, because I can't compete. I've been around like real writers, and it's like they're so intense about their craft. They're just amazing.
Yes. That's also just to be able to write a book that doesn't feel like every other book in that genre, to me, feels so intimidating.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I am really impressed by mystery authors that have like 30 book series and they have, a new creative way for someone to die in each book.
Yeah.
PG wrote about how like he was always searching for like, those plot elements, and like he was super jealous when he found one. Like he wouldn't tell it to any other writer friends because it's like that. Yeah, that's like the bread and butter.
Yes. That's another like thing to hold against Dickens. Elizabeth Gaskell told him about this story that she read in the newspaper, and she was like, "I'm going to write a story on it." And then he was like, "Beat you to it!" a week later when he published one about it.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
He was like, "Shine on that," and he was like, "Nope." Did you see Gore Vidal publish A Good Von Trapp is Hard to Find?
That's amazing. That would have been a better title right there. Oh my gosh. Here. Hi, Rainy. Thanks for coming. Oh, I always forget. I switched from my iPad to my phone for filming, and everything is different.
Well, you could
including the camera.
Hearts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're just glad you're here. We love hanging out with Rainy. I'm always there for reasons not to like Dickens.
I'm not into Dickens. I just have never been able to get into Dickens. It's like I read it and there are good things in it, but like, I don't know. I feel like I should read more Dickens, but I just don't feel motivated.
It's like the mom in Despicable Me.
I could read Dickens, or I could reread a Jane Austen novel.
There's plenty of people reading Dickens a ton.
Very true.
Once I get through the other ones, I'll actually reread the ones that I liked, but I will never reread like Nicholas Nickleby or what was this Victober? Oh, it was bad. Martin Chuzzlewit. That was it. It haunted my Victober.
Somebody commented earlier, I think it was Gore Vidal, that Jane Austen writes the most convincing happy endings, and yeah, I love that. That's so true.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Honestly, the filling out of an idea is what is the hard thing for most writers, actually getting it all down, because most good story ideas have like probably 3 to 5 scenes built into it, but you have to write like a lot of scenes to make up a whole story. So you need like a constant stream of ideas to make a whole story.
Oh.
It's crazy hard. That's hilarious. Everybody's new. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just reading another comment.
Okay. I was going to say everybody's new favorite booktuber, Alan from the Library of Alexandria. He's always like, freaking Dickens. He really doesn't like Dickens. It's like one of his quotable things.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I was just reading a classic that's a comfort read, Pride and Prejudice. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what Jane Austen is, a comfort read, but like she's also challenging, which is what makes it so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so many things that you wouldn't have caught the first, 3-4 times you've read it. And yeah, I actually, the last time that I reread Pride and Prejudice, there was this description that I thought about this about my husband, but I hadn't been able to express it. Like, he doesn't like, when he's enjoying something, he's not like, I love this so much. He doesn't emote it. And it said about Mr. Bennett that he had a very laconic way of expressing himself.
She is just a master satirist.
She is. Oh, Stephanie.
Stephanie, you be you.
Yeah, there are some that I really, really like. I'm just a little bitter now that I decided 10 years ago to read his whole catalog. And I'm sticking to it.
We have a collaboration in the works. I'm excited about this, guys. That's so true. Sorry, go ahead.
When I find like a booktuber who like loves an author I don't really like, because I feel like then I can kind of understand it. Even though I like don't agree with it, I'm like, okay, like I get it. Like I can see where it comes from. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, actually,
I love that.
One that, Emma, you've made me want to like, and I just can't bring myself to do it, is Virginia Woolf.
There are certain authors that, like, when I first read them, Virginia Woolf was one. When I first read her, I was just like not into it at all. And then when I came back to it, I think it was maybe, which one was it that I reread first, and I was like, wow, why didn't I appreciate this last time? Maybe it was To the Lighthouse, but then The Waves I really liked.
She's like, oh yeah, those editions.
The Waves is so like stream of consciousness and kind of out there, but it's really poetic, and like the descriptions, I mean, kind of like Jane Austen, where she just pinpoints something so vividly that you have experienced yourself but never saw it just so perfectly laid out. Like Virginia Woolf does that, but in like a completely different way. Yeah, I feel like you need to read it at the right time. It's impossible to guess when the right time will be. But I mean, Emily Dickinson was the same way. When I first read her, I was like, what is this? These are depressing poems about death. And then I read her letters, and I adored her letters. And I felt like I read a biography about her too. And then when I went back to her poems, I felt like I could come at them from the right direction.
Oh, I'm excited because the Fierce Women reads, like, our next pick is Emily Dickinson's letters.
I love her letters. They're so
I'm excited.
Oh man, I got to get in on that. That sounds amazing.
The letters. Also, I really hold it against Virginia Woolf that she like blacklisted T.S. Eliot when he became a Christian.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad.
He would have been better off dead.
There are certain authors that like, it's like I respect them and I respect their skill, but yeah, their attitude towards religion, it's just like you kind of have to put that to one side, because Ayn Rand, similarly, her works, well, actually, I've read 2 books by her. So, but the 2, they're both brilliant. but she also was like super against Christians. And I was like,
yeah,
maybe
she was intense.
stories, but like, I don't follow you there. So
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Well,
So are
guys,
you
let's
sprinting?
go for another sprint. Yeah, and we'll do a little longer this time, and that'll probably be our last long sprint. If our Eastern friends are up for it, maybe we'll do another short sprint after that.
that's good.
Hey guys. Oh my goodness. So I am like pretty far over the halfway point of the Brothers Karamazov, and it took a while to get going into like the criminal element, you know, the actual like plot of the story. But now that it's in that section of the book, like talking about the crime and why it happened and you know who did it, it's a mystery at this point, which is totally different from Crime and Punishment, where you know who did it, you're just trying to figure out why. It's like it's so good. I just read a chapter and I'm so excited because the beginning was a slog for me. But I think that's just because it was harder for me to understand than like Crime and Punishment, which grabbed me from the very beginning. I'm so excited. It's so philosophical too. Now that I've got through the philosophy part, I'm excited.
That's so fun. And this is a reread, right?
No, I've never read it before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's like so cool to have a new to you book by a favorite author.
Yes. My love of Fyodor Dostoevsky was mostly based on the intense love I had for Crime and Punishment. Like and just it just really opened my eyes to the fact that I could like, you know, classics. I just hadn't read very many from like other countries. Like most of what I read was modern classics or like Shakespeare. Like that's just what I read in high school. And because I live in America, I've read a lot of American classics. But like Russian classics are totally different and I love them. I've loved almost everything I've read from Russia. So they just they are what I love.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Now, how did you guys do? What were you working on, Emma?
I was just trying to make the colors a little more vivid. I always do this with watercolors. It's like the first time through, I don't want to make it too bright because I'm nervous, and then I go back and I'm like, but it should be more bright. So moving along.
I think it like people who are drawing with like pencils and stuff do the same thing. You do it kind of light at first so that it doesn't dent and stain the paper, I guess. What's up, Kate?
I've read 62 pages of Understood Betsy. So it's nice. You feel extra productive when you read a children's book.
Through them so fast. It's like, wow, this is great.
Yes.
Emma, did you finish? We didn't even talk about our read along. I totally forgot. Have you both read it now, or what's going on there?
I did finish it. It was my first time. Have you read it before, Kate?
I have, and I haven't started my reread yet. I've been saving it because I wanted it to be kind of like fresh in my mind.
Oh, thanks, Rebecca.
And Rainy too.
Thank you.
There's some chat. Oh, good. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to go back to Maple Hill. What were you going to say?
Oh, well, that's important. We should talk about that because we're all in the read along. So we haven't even talked yet about it. So
I had just finished rereading Farmer Boy. So it was really fun because like it's like another farm story, but it's after World War II, right?
I think so.
Yeah. They never actually specify which war he was.
They don't specify. I think just because the U.S. was involved so briefly in World War I just assumed it was World War II. Yeah.
The painted or pictures in the book reminded me a little of Kit, the American Girl doll. That. Or well, I guess that would be Molly. Would be more World War II American Girl doll, wouldn't it? Because Kit was like the Great Depression. Well, anyway.
I'm gonna see if what year is Miracles on Maple Hill set?
Yeah. It was really fun because Farmer Boy is 1800, so that is yes. And they're legit farmers. Everything they produce, everything they use, they produce themselves. Their clothing, their food, everything. But this was fun because it's they're coming from the cities, so they're learning all the farm ways and
Oh, you're inspiring Rainy with your painting.
I know. I always feel that way too. It's I have to get them out. I haven't done it in so long. How long is it going to take to finish? But then it's like when I do get them out, it's really fun.
Yeah, with books, it's like, let me pick up my book. Yeah, it just says published in 1956. It doesn't say for sure when it's set.
Although 56, yeah, that's like if it was contemporaneous kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the 1957 Newbery. So you have not started it yet, Christy?
I haven't yet, but I think I can get. I was working on The Dead Secret and The Brothers Karamazov first.
Nice. Yeah,
Yes.
it's funny. The Dead Secret is my patron read this month, and I haven't started it. So I wanted to finish my couple audiobooks. So I'll finish those tomorrow, and then I'll start The Dead Secret.
Oh, so you haven't even started The Dead Secret yet?
I know.
Wow, that's crazy.
On the edge.
Yeah, wow, that is living on the edge. But that's how I tend to read. Is I tend to like get to 20% in like 4 books, and then I'll like, get on maybe to like 30, 50, somewhere in there, and then by the time I get like in the last 70% of all my books, I just like 1, 2, 3 in day after day I finish a book. It's just how I tend to read.
Yes. Yeah, and I overwhelm myself because I'll have like 10 that I'm wanting to. So my plan is to next month do like a spring cleaning kind of reading, and just kind of, because I think it's like 20 books I'm currently reading on Goodreads, which is it's a lot. So.
You need a TBR clear out-a-thon.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Angie, you saying you're a slow reader. I think though it can be fun to kind of like savor a book, because I've been doing with the Mitford series that we're reading, the first 2 months I like read them in like 4 or 5 days, and it just wasn't as nice. So I've been reading a chapter a day out of that, and that's really nice.
Kate, how many readathons do you have going on right now? Do you know?
Knit and Listen, Patreon Book Club, Miracles on Maple Hill, Mitford, Fierce Women Reads.
That's awesome.
It doesn't feel like that much until then I list it all. I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
That is some superpower multitasking. I think moms have a superpower like for multitasking. You have to develop it.
Yeah. People talk about like what time of day they read, and I'm like, I like sneak in time all day. Like the boys will be playing nicely. So, or like Peter's working on a worksheet, and so I'll, flip my book open then.
Are you planning on homeschooling your kids, or were they in school before COVID?
It's a whole thing. I'm like agonizing over it. He really wants me to homeschool him, but I don't know with my health if I have like the energy to do it, because I don't want to do him a disservice, even though I feel like with how long like time gets spent on classroom management and like all of like busy work, he would probably get about the same from me. So we're just gonna see. We're on the fence about it. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, Krista's back! Yay!
Yay, Krista! How was it, girl, Krista?
Oh, Rainey and Stephanie are the queens of readathons too. They join all the things, and I love the community aspect of their reading.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Emma, were you in school? Were you in public school, or were you homeschooled? I'm just interested in this topic.
Yeah, my family took the buffet approach to education. So we were in Catholic school for a couple of years, public school. We had a good public high school. So I went back to public high school, but I was homeschooled for middle school, which I think was definitely the right choice. Yeah, I mean, most of my brothers were homeschooled that same kind of age, but my parents definitely just tried to listen to us. And like, if we said, like, for instance, I said I want to homeschool, and then like I spent like reading every book in our house. And luckily, my parents are both huge readers, so we have an amazing, set of books. But yeah, like some of my brothers liked that being more, involved in school, and so they did go to school. But yeah, I mean, like, I know some of them participated in like homeschool groups. I know when I was homeschooled, I would still go in for band. Like they let me participate in that.
That's cool.
School. But yeah, I loved being homeschooled. I thought it was amazing, like to just follow your own. And especially at that age, like middle school is like kind of the most immature years of anyone's life. So to like to skip out on school,
Yes. Well, and isn't it, if you're like a diligent student, I feel like you can get all of your work done in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you can look ahead, like I started French early so that when I started in high school, I like started as a freshman in like French 3. So
nice.
Doing it already. Yeah, it's so nice that like it can be completely customized to the child's interest and abilities.
Yes. And we do have a couple friends that like we could meet them after school. So it's not like, even if I didn't have enough energy to do a co-op, like you could, because that would be like, I feel like I would have to agree to teach a class or something for that. But he would still get to hang out with peers like that we just know through church and other things. That's
K-12. Isn't there something called K-12 where like they send you a computer, or is this something that was only it's like, and there are like lesson plans. I think it might be provided by the state or by the government, but it's like homeschooling. But
yeah, it's like cyber homeschooling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I've heard of these things.
I mean, now I suppose everything is like
that. Funny,
but like this was before COVID. It
was yes. Oh.
There's like so many. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I wonder about him. Just like I've told the story when he wrote. Christy knows the story. He wrote a row of S's and he was agonizing like he's his own worst critic and saying like, "Oh, it's so awful." And so I was like, "Buddy, look, you wrote your first row of S's." And he said, "It's not a row of S's. It's a row of mistakes." He's like Anne Shirley, honestly. That's like something she would say.
That's hilarious.
He might be pretty self-motivated, which might be a good thing for a homeschooler.
I hope, but he's also like, if he doesn't do it right, he's like, I need to go and mourn and grieve over the fact I didn't do it right. Amanda says, can't wait to be done homeschooling. My kids need to go back to school. That's also multiple children, I think, is like very challenging.
Yeah. I know like Ryan and Michael are both like really big proponents of homeschool. And Michael has 3 kids, but none of them, they've started homeschooling the older 2. So I can't imagine how Amanda's going to be homeschooling 3 kids, but that's Michael's wife, Amanda, not the curly reader, Amanda. I also can't imagine how Amanda the curly reader is homeschooling right now. That sounds crazy.
Yeah. And that's also like not by choice. That's like because of the pandemic. I think that's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said we sent my first grader back, but I have my 4th and 5th graders at home still.
Oh, man.
Yeah. 4th and 5th graders are like diagramming sentences and yeah.
I begged to be homeschooled too, but I'd been in so I was in Christian school all of my life until high school, and then my parents put me in public school, and I hated it.
They bring the wolves.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. Now I see that it was good for me, but at the time, I mean, I feel like there's so much opportunity for like intellectual advancement with homeschooling, and like I went to a good high school. But like, I feel like I do so much better at self-study But at that point, I needed to also learn how to be social. So it was a good choice on my parents' part to put me in public school, I think.
Oh, Angie was, so, Angie's a teacher, and she was saying she's been interested in looking into like a homeschool pod, like helping out with that. Angie, teach my son. Just pick one subject, whatever you like.
Angie's going to start teaching, teach by Zoom.
Yes.
Business. Yeah. Oh, man. I always find that such an interesting topic because some people are like really passionate about it.
Yeah. I always feel like a little nervous. Like I'm not sure like what someone, if they have these notions about like what they think my answer is going to be. So I'm always like, I don't know.
Sorry, I like threw it out to the.
No, I knew you.
This is a free speech place.
Safe space.
Yes, it's a safe place. Yeah, that I can't even talk. So if you share a cohesive opinion, good job.
So this is random, change of topic, but earlier today I got way too excited when I went to an Asian grocery store because I'm gonna make. I love having soup for lunch, so I'm gonna make this like mushroom beef soup, and I needed sesame seed powder, so I knew they would have it. And the girl in the checkout line, like the cashier, started talking to me about Korean dramas.
That's so good.
Yes.
There's so much amazing Korean food. Like, have you ever watched Korean Englishmen? That YouTube channel? Like in the past, when they were able to go to Korea, they like would try all these amazing restaurants. It was just like, and so many different foods. Like it's just mind-boggling. The BTS have like a variety show, and one time they were like doing charades, and it was food, and like every dish they guessed, it was like rice with pork, and it was dishes I ever would have guessed in a food charades game, because they like I hadn't even heard of them, but they all sound amazing.
Or there's like fried beef intestine was on a show that I watched tonight.
Yeah.
But I think it would be. I would love to just like try to cook more Korean food because it is like so vast.
I've started eating ramen like several times a week ever since starting watching Korean dramas because they're always eating ramen. And I'm like, okay, now I'm craving it.
Have either of you seen What's Wrong with Secretary Kim?
Yeah.
She combines ramen with something unusual. Oh, I wish I could remember. It's like, Amanda says the Newbery winner this year, When You Trap a Tiger, has a lot of Korean food in it. I have the audiobook on hold. Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a buzzword for me, Korean food.
Right?
Oh man. Okay, guys, how are you feeling? Do you want to do like another short sprint or are you getting tired? It's like pretty late where you are.
I might tap out, especially because we're losing an hour tonight.
Oh,
I forgot.
Yeah, I might wrap up.
Listen,
okay.
If any political figure wants to banish daylight savings, that would be a bipartisan decision we could all get behind.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I usually get like bean threads or rice noodles, and sometimes I make bone broth and like do the whole ramen thing. Sometimes I just use a packet from whatever ramen. So
sorry, I just Googled it. She eats ramen and kimchi.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah. I love kimchi.
I made kimchi fried rice one time, and the jar I got, I had to use a hammer to get it open, and then it like exploded in the sink because like it was the fermented power of the fermented kimchi just was it sunk up the whole house. Never make that again. I was like, it tastes good.
It's like cooking with fish sauce.
Yes.
Oh, I love everybody.
Everybody loved that idea, Kate.
The girly reader said it, and all God's people said amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's just both are bad because you lose an hour in the spring, but then I want to like cry in the evening in the fall when it's so dark at like 4 p.m. Tanya Johnson, we all need to move to Arizona. They don't change times. We should all take a leaf out of Arizona's book. That's what I mean. Just governors, state governors, then should just do that.
Florida's confusing. It has like at least 2 time zones in it. So I never know when I have friends in Florida. So are you Central or Eastern?
It's also just like in the span of the existence of humanity, it's a very unnatural thing to just like all of a sudden change the hour that it is.
Yeah.
Is it like a farmer thing? Because it was Benjamin Franklin, right? And like back then there were more farmers, so maybe it made more sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes sense because they wanted the sunlight. My husband loves it, and I think he's nuts.
You're like, we just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Oh no, we don't have we're a debating family. We don't mind debating anything and everything. Okay. Wasn't it for farmers? Okay, yeah, somebody agrees with you.
Yes.
And another person agrees with you. Okay, so I think this is probably a good time to end the stream. This is a good place to stop. We could go for another few minutes, but I think we've been on for like over 2 hours, so
that flew by.
Yeah, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was totally productive and fun. So thank you guys. Huge thank you. Yeah. Oh man, this was so fun. Thank you so much to Emma, and thank you so much to Kate. Is your name?
And thank you everyone for such fun comments.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, chat stream. It's really wonderful to hear all of your thoughts and what you're doing and how much progress you've made. All that stuff's so fun. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to do this again sometime.
We will.
Alrighty, guys. Have a wonderful night and be safe tomorrow with the daylight savings thing. Try to get enough sleep. Bye, everyone.